Today I want to show you a really cool trick to make any TanStack Start application drastically faster. Let's check this out. So what we have over here is a simple blog built with TanStack Start, obviously. And the problem that we have over here is that it's extremely slow. So when I click on an entry, right now I just clicked, it's taking around like 2.5 seconds to just load that data. So is there any way in TanStack Start to improve this slow loading? But first, quick word from today's sponsor, TestSprite. If you are still wasting hours writing end-to-end tests manually in your application, then I think it's time for you to check out TestSprite. TestSprite is the easiest way to create and also maintain end-to-end tests in your application. Not only does it create the end-to-end tests for you, it also gives you a really intuitive interface for viewing and editing your tests. You can adjust each test step on the fly by simply replaying the recording and adding or editing the interactions like navigation, field inputs, click, scroll, or asserts. If you want an easy, transparent, and up-to-date test coverage inside your application, then check it out at testsprite.com. Now let's dive into the video. And the answer is obviously yes, because TanStack Start comes with a really cool feature, and that is prefetching. Now this feature is not only part of TanStack Start, but also of TanStack Router, since TanStack Start uses TanStack Router under the hood, and actually a big part of it is just TanStack Router. So therefore TanStack Router and Start both have this feature where you can turn on prefetching on links, and the default mode is set to false, but we can also set 3 other values. So we have the prefetch mode render, intent, and viewport. And for viewport, we have to scroll down of the web page to see that we have another button for that. And when I'm talking about this preload mode, I'm just talking about this preload property that we are passing to the links coming from TanStack Router. So here we are setting it to render, intent, and viewport. So let's come back over here. I'm gonna reload the page and open the inspector. And if we take a look at the console, we're gonna see we have a console log saying running loader of prefetch render. So this link over here with the preload mode or prefetching mode set to render directly calls the loader of the page. So if I click over here, you're gonna see that this page renders directly because the loader of that page is already there. So when preload is set to render, it means that as soon as the link element is rendered, we're gonna also preload or call the loader function of the target page. The second option is intent, and I want you to pay attention to the console. I'm gonna go ahead and hover over this link, and as you can see, as soon as you hover over the link, the loader of that page is gonna be called, and now when I click on it, it's gonna directly open up. And the third preload mode that we have is viewport. And the cool thing about viewport is that once the link is in the viewport of the user, so it's in the screen, it's visible, then the loader function is going to be called, and that page is going to be ready to go. Once the user clicks on it, it's shown directly. So let's go back to our page and actually use these modes. So what we have over here is a list of the blog posts, and then we have the previous and the next page. And I think I have just the perfect preload configuration for this use case. So starting with the links to the blog posts, I would go with intent because it makes most sense. Over here we have a lot of blog posts and we don't want to eagerly load all of them in the background. That would be just too much pressure on our server. And by setting it to intent, once the user hovers over a blog post, we can already get started with loading the content. And then for the next and previous buttons that we have on the bottom of the page, we can set the preload option over here to viewport. And the reason behind that is that if the user is at the back of the page, then there is a high chance that they're gonna go to the next or previous page. If you want to learn more about TanStack Start, I have just released my TanStack Start course where we go over literally everything that you need to know about the library. We start with the basics of the routing, which is powered by TanStack Router. Then we also learn about different data loading patterns, and then move on to some full stack server functionality. I'm talking about middlewares, authentication, queries, and mutations. And then we finish off with some really advanced patterns. And one cool thing about this course is that every concept comes with 3 parts. So we start with an explainer where we go about the technical part of the concept. Then there's a problem, a real user problem that you're going to be solving. And then we move on to the solution where I show you the multiple ways of using that specific concept concept to solve that problem. You can check it out at learntanstack.com. I'm gonna put the link to that in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.